Hi and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to be doing a box opening for Primitive Gatherings July 2025 wool subscription box. At the end of this video, I will show you how I'm doing on my past wool box projects. So stay tuned. In the meantime, let's get this baby opened. Need my glasses. If you're new to my channel, I hope you enjoy these videos. If you're thinking about subscribing to this box, I hope you find these helpful. I film these videos when I first get the box, but at Primitive Gatherings' request, I hold off on posting my videos so that everybody has a chance to receive their box and that I don't spoil anyone's surprise. So I hope you enjoy this video. So this is the paper that comes in the box. It says Wool Box 40, July 2025. As summer gently fades, we begin to turn our hearts towards the coziness of fall. So this is exciting. It talks about what you're going to find in the box, and the first is the continuation of the long-term project, which is the 2-year project, Serenity. And I do have my blocks. They're not finished, but I have them to show you at the end of the video. But in the meantime, let's see if we can find it in here. Everything comes in a nice bag, which I like. I'm gonna move this box out of the way. So everything is sealed real nice and tight, and I like that. So the first is Serenity, July box. It's block number 3. These are not being sent to us in the order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're coming in a kind of an unusual order, and that's okay. I'm loving them all. This is a little outside of my comfort zone, and so far I'm really enjoying this. So let's take a peek at this. These colors are just beautiful. I cannot show you the pattern, of course, but isn't this pretty? Now, in the last wool box, there was a shortage of one of the fabrics for, I think it was a leaf, and that should be in this box somewhere. In fact, there it is right there on the, I don't want to get these out of order, but it's right there on the top. And they send these to you in the order which you'll use them, but this is the one it looks like. So that's great. And then here are the others. And like I said, I don't want to get them out of order because that'll make me kind of confused, but they're just such beautiful colors, especially the blue that's being used. These are just wonderful, wonderful wools, and I'm really enjoying this project. I'm using a woven fabric that I had. It's kind of a dark black, kind of gray mottled with some white in it, and I'm really loving how it's turning out. So you'll get to see that at the end. All right, let me set that aside. The next is the 1-year project, and this is Indigo Revival, and I'm having a lot of fun with this. These are smaller blocks, and when I go somewhere, if I'm going to an appointment, I usually take my Indigo Revival blocks with me, and I can sit in the waiting room and stitch on them, or if I do a group of friends, we sew every Wednesday. And a lot of times I bring my machine, but if we're going to have a lot of people, or if the weather's kind of bad, or for whatever reason, like my shoulder's bothering me, I will bring a hand project so I don't have to carry all my stuff. And this has been the perfect project to travel with. So here is this month's blocks. And I really like these. I must say I'm not keeping up as good with my wool box as I am with the quilt box, but it was, or is, as I'm filming this, fair time. And I had several quilts from my long armor that I needed to get a binding on, that I really wanted to enter into the fair. And so I really concentrated on that. And that's okay. There's no rule that says I absolutely have to have it done. But these are the wools. These are just beautiful. And this red is really, really pretty. I don't know if these colors are getting picked up enough. Ooh, I don't want to drop these. But they are just beautiful. Aren't those gorgeous? Make sure the camera focuses on that. So that's my Indigo Revival for the July box. And I'm really excited. I've caught a glimpse of this Stand and Alone project, and I will see what the words say about it. But first, I need to set these aside before I drop them, make a mess. So, right there. All right, a stunning standalone project. Woodland Bloom featuring a dark maple leaf adorned with autumn flowers. Ooh. Project is brought to life with exquisite detail and stitches using the finest Valdani threads created as a tribute to the graceful palette of fall. Rich, warm, and deeply comforting. So it sounds like there's some thread in here too. Oh, this is beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? I'll have to pick up the speed on my wool project so I can get this one done. Or bump it to the front. That's okay too. Isn't that beautiful? And the wools are gorgeous. There's this really beautiful deep brown. There's the brown. I'll fold this so you can see that. And then all these fall colors. There's this, I'm going to stand up so you can see the colors better. There's this gorgeous gold and some tans, this pretty green, some browns. I know a friend who'd love these browns. There's a nice red. Some of these vibrant reds are just gorgeous. Some more dark greens and browns. And then, of course, some beautiful fall orange. Some more greens and another orange. Oh, that's just beautiful. Just gorgeous. See if I can get a better angle. Aren't they pretty? I'm definitely going to enjoy doing this project. Slip these back in here. Set that aside. All right, and then the next thing, oops, I've moved my piece of paper. There we go. A carefully curated wool bundle in seasonal hues, a coordinating ball of Valdani thread, and of course, their award-winning handmade caramels. Let's see what we've got in here. There's the caramels. This is a real pretty color. This is Valdani. These numbers are so tiny. Looks like it's a 5-weight, 0518. So let's see, back up a little bit. Isn't that pretty? And then we have some wools to add to the wool stash. Oh, this is a great orange. I absolutely love this orange. It's kind of a harvesty. Isn't that pretty? And then we've got kind of a teal and a really nice deep red. And this brown. These will go perfect with my decor. So you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think of this box. I know I love it. So let me get this out of the way and I will show you how I've done on my past boxes. If you recall, in one of my prior videos, I was just finishing up my pincushion. Now this was in one of last year's boxes that I didn't get finished. I just kind of put it off, and I really love this, so I made a point of finishing it. I will say there are a couple of stitches that I really struggle with. One is the drizzle stitch. The other one is the bullion stitch. And this one actually called for the bullion stitch around, and I ended up doing kind of a bunch of French knots in different sizes because I struggled with the bullion and it just wasn't looking right. And I just thought, you know what? It's mine. I'm gonna do what I like, and that's what I did. But didn't that come out pretty? And I filled it with crushed pecan shells, and I have a nice homespun on the back, and I did my hidden stitch, so I think I stitched it along here, but it's kind of hard to tell. I did a little trick that I don't know if you do, but after I finished this, I put some interfacing on the back side of this, and I think I even did it on the back side of the homespun because I was afraid the shells might come out. And then I took just a scrap piece of fabric that I had after I had stuffed this real good, and I put that over the hole on the inside. Then I stitched it up. It just kind of gave a little extra covering of where my hand stitching was, so that the little pieces don't come through the fabric. But I love this project. It's got some nice weight to it. Could give it a good, if I needed to, you know, in case the bears come on the porch or something. Of course, I don't think I'd throw that at them. Okay, the next thing is my Indigo Revival blocks. And I have not finished them all, but I'm in the process. As you can see, this one I've just barely gotten started, but I've gotten some of the other ones finished. Isn't that pretty? And there's one from the prior month's box that was just stitching. I have not figured out what I'm going to do in that yet, but I think I'm going to do a daisy. She hasn't done a daisy yet. I'm kind of waiting to see because I may find that there's a flower that she hasn't done that I would like to do, but I'm leaning towards a daisy, so we'll see. But isn't that pretty? Kind of a neat color. I have no idea what these flowers are called. That would be my mom. She's the gardener. I have trouble growing weeds, so it doesn't help that the deer come and eat everything. I do have this beautiful fire azalea that I do absolutely nothing with. The deer kind of try to eat it, but it's gotten so tall they leave it alone. It makes the most beautiful orange blooms, but I do not mess with it because that would be like the touch of death if I started messing with that plant. So I am not a gardener, but these are really pretty. I am using the fabric that came in the first box. It's a denim chambray. I don't have any thing on the back of these. It was thick enough that I didn't feel I needed to. I think I'm going to put something in the center here. It may have even called for something, but I think I'm going to go with something light. I think it had something dark. And I think I might go back and put a little something in the very center of this one. You know, I haven't decided on that yet. If you're doing these, you'll have to let me know if you've changed any of them up. Isn't that pretty? That's just a real pretty leaf. So that's where I'm at on my Indigo Revival. Now, since I finished my little project that I had been working on, I went ahead and I started the big I think it was the January box with the giant dragonfly. This thing is huge, absolutely huge. And I've got it all on the fabric. This was the fabric that came with it. And I have started stitching, and it's just gorgeous. See, I've gotten my stitching going. And this, I mean, this thing is ginormous. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm debating on maybe making some sort of a quilt with this being in the center still. Or I may go with the original pillow plan, which was what the pattern called for. But I like that. It's really just so pretty with its colors. And so we'll just have to see. So now my indigo, I mean, not my indigo, my Serenity blocks. And this is my first month's block. And I'm pretty well done with this except for my drizzle stitches. And if I cannot get those to look right, then I'm probably going to go ahead and do some sort of French knots or something in there, but I haven't given up. Now on the back of this, I did use a Pellon SF101, just a nice lightweight, more because I felt like this weave was just a little bit too loose, but other ones, I think, you know, depending on your fabric, it's really your personal preference. I also cut my blocks slightly larger than what I think Lisa called for, but that was just, I had a little extra fabric and I wanted to make sure I didn't screw up and make them too small. So I'm getting ready to start stitching on the next one. And then this is the last month's box. And as you can see, I only have part of it on, and that was because this is the fabric and it was a leaf. So I'll go back now. I've got all my parts ready to be applied to this. And so that's where I'm at. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. You'll have to let me know how you're doing on your projects. And if you have any questions, be sure and put them in the comments section and I will do my best to get back to you. In the meantime, be sure and give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be advised of future content. Again, thanks so much for joining me, and you have a good night. Bye-bye.